Greetings, everyone. So, here we are today to go through the application form of CUET. So, we'll first start off by searching CUET PG, which will direct you to the page that you are supposed to go. And the first link that you see there, which is the summer.ac.in, that is the one that you have to click. And you will see that University Entrance Test CUET PG 2024 is there. You're on the main page and go to register and click on it, and you come to the page where you have to register yourself. So before registering yourself, it's very important that few of the grounds must be clear of what is required by you and what should be filled in your application form. So if you go through it, the first is a step one is a registration form. So registration form, while you're doing this section includes like a personal detail, which includes your name, your father's name, and everything. And further, when you are completing the step one, so this is the most important part. When you're completing the step one, you will be given an application number, and it is recommended for you that you keep this application number like written somewhere because this is what requires in all the further proceedings. So keep it safe somewhere and remember the password which has been generated for you. Now, once your application number has been generated, it goes to the step two, which is the application form in itself. Here, what you have to notice that you have to insert your photograph, black and white or color, both of them works. And along with the photograph, you should also put in a scan signature. Now, what's important is that you need to understand that it's both JPG format or JPG format. That is fine, but the size should be considered here. The size of the scan photograph should be maximum 200 KB. It cannot be more than 200 KB. And for the scan signature, the maximum storage for it is 30 KB. And it both should be clear because in all these application forms, pictures and signature has a very special place. So definitely, I hope you are going through it. And finally, also please do go through the fee payment of who should pay what and for like in what colleges and how many papers you have to pay. It's all dependent upon you. And so further you can read upon here what you have to, and for all the references we will also be filling a form because you might be having difficulty in accessing it, and that's why I've decided that I'll also fill a form and you can go through with it. So as you go down, you can see here, click here to proceed and press it. I have downloaded. Yes, and yes. So as I said, first detail is apply for the online registration, which is the registration form, which includes all the personal details. So let's so mother's details, guardian name, whoever can go through it, and candidate of birth, gender, nationality, identity type. And in any of this, when you see that, let's say that you are writing something wrong or if something which is not accessible, which is not okay by the portal, it will show in red. And for example, let's say I'm writing this. So email address cannot be blank. See. So everyone, here we are. You can see this is the registration form, and the first part of the registration form is personal details section. It's all almost self-explanatory, but I have filled in a mock form so that there's a better clarity for everyone out there. And definitely, you can take a moment to analyze this, to see through this, how it is being filled. And but my job here will be to take you to bring your attention to the one of like most important parts of this personal details, which you might be having trouble or which you might not get in the first go. So, for example, in the personal details, if you see, I've filled in all the details, but if you see the identity type, now it requires a identity card, and if you look through the list, it has PAN, school ID card, passport, voter ID, ration card, bank passport, driving license. But in case, let's say that if you see that Aadhaar card is not mentioned here, and if you want to fill the details with your Aadhaar card, you have to click other valid government ID identity with photograph, and then you can enter your Aadhaar details. So this is something that you need to take care about, or else if you have any one of the following listed ID cards, you can fill that also. So it's up to you. If you have to choose Aadhaar card, then you have to go and choose this other valid government ID. So moving on, present address. So present address is temporary address, one where you're living. So I've already filled out one, and with all the email address, mobile number, and everything. And then there is a permanent address. Now for most of you, it would be the same. So if you click this thing, a small box here, click if same as present address, then you don't have to write it all again. You just copy paste the portal, copy paste on its own, and it makes your job easy. But in case, let's say that your permanent address, that is where you're currently, let's say you are doing coaching somewhere, and that is your temporary address, and permanent address is one where your home is, where your parents live. So that is your permanent address. So in case it differs, then you have to fill the differing details, or else you can just click if same as present, and then you can continue on. Now, the third section is choose password. So password has certain requirements, that is 8 to 13 characters, one special character, one uppercase. So I've made a password for myself with minimum 8 characters and I've confirmed. Now here will come a section which asks a security question. So this is a part you can choose any one of them. Let's say I'm choosing which is your favorite. So this is a random question. Any like you can answer anything. It's just that you have to remember what you answered for this question. Let's say I'm writing my answer. So the security question is for the purpose that let's say you are coming back onto the page, but you do not remember the password. But for the security reasons that to identify this is the same person who is trying to access the application form, they ask you which is your favorite book, or let's say some other question, name of your first school or something. So this is what you have to do. And the last but not the least, just copy paste the like look through the security pin and write as it is how it is mentioned here, and then go through the summit, and we'll enter. So if you see that written that few of the errors that have come across in the application form, that is invalid pin code and that is this email address has already been registered. So I will be correcting it, but I just wanted to tell you that this is a tricky part where you have to be careful about the details that you're filling in with the valid PIN code and the email address that should be there. So everyone, I have now corrected the pending details which were being asked here, and now we can go forward and click submit. So see, it has registered a summary of whatever you have filled. You can again go through it and see if you have facing any difficulty, or if you see that you have made some mistake, then you can go back and fill it again with the correct details. And this particular is checklisted to be verified. So click on every checkbox that is here: date of birth, mother's name, mobile, permanent address. And after that, I hereby declare the declaration checkbox. And if you feel that, as already told you, that if you feel that any of the details that you have filled is wrong by mistake, you can go and click edit registration details, or else if it's all right and if it's good by you, then you can submit and send OTP to mobile. So it will ask you, okay. So you have to click OK and you will get a verification code. I've received the OTP and I've already filled it here. You can see and the security pin again and now submit. So it's saying that the first part, if you see the orange one, it's done. Now you are entering into the second format, which is the application form. And now you have to click continue application form. So it's again a summary of whatever you have filled. And here you will be asked extra details, which includes annual family income. Are you a twin? Do you have a twin brother, sister, domicile state? So this is to be filled as per your detail section that you have. So now let's fill this mock form together so that you have a better clarity. So it just a few of them details are extra here. So let's say first the category. Uh, so I'm clicking general, reserve. Are you a person? The question: Are you a person? Are you a person with benchmark disability? So it's no for me. And father's qualification, graduate. So occupation, let's say engineering. Mother's qualification, graduate. Let's say business. So guardian's name is not a mandatory detail. You can skip that part. Annual family income. Let's say this is I don't have a twin. Domicile state, Delhi. Are you a diabetic? No. Place of residence, urban. Mode of preparation. So, mode of preparation is how you are preparing for this exam, how you're preparing for this examination. Let's say I'm preparing for my, like, through my own means, so self. And medium of studying qualification. So, medium of study in qualifying exam is like the language that you are comfortable with in taking the exam. So, for me, English is more comfortable, so I'm clicking English. And then present address. Again, a checkbox permanent. If most of you, it will be applicable. So click on this. Other quotas in category, are you below poverty line? So for me, it's no. Kashmiri, I'm under no. So do you belong to poverty, below poverty line? So it's no. Are you a Kashmiri migrant? No. Ward of defense, so your guardian or your parents, do they belong to a defense personnel or ex-servicemen? For me, it's no, so no. Claim for NCC quota. So, if you are a member of NCC and if you want to apply for NCC quota, then you should click yes, or else you should be clicking no. So, let's say for this purpose, clicking no. And claim for sports quota. So, if you are a professional player, so and you want to apply the same quota while taking the admission, you can press yes. So level of sports achievement. So if you click yes, it will give you another drop down menu of how much sports have you played or till what have you represented it. Let's say um, for this purpose, participated in national, senior, sub junior. And are you a ward of a university employee? No. So you can see that I've filled all the details. And once you have done through this, save it. Again, after the extra details have been filled, it again generates a summary. Again, you can go through all the details and see if you have filled it correctly. In any case, if you haven't, you still have an option of going to the dashboard or update the personal form and you can fill it again. Or else if you're satisfied with the answers and with the details that you have picked in, you can proceed to next section. So as you enter into the next section, which requires you to fill all the education details. So I'll give you a summary of what all it requires. It requires your class 10th details, 12th, and undergraduation. So for this purpose, I will be filling the class 10th details along with you. So result, passed, passing year. So let's say 2016, qualifying exam 10th and equivalent. Board name, so CBSC. So Central Board of Secondary Education, or if you are from State Board, you have a variety of options. So click on as per your requirement. For me, it's CBSE. So I'll be clicking CBSE. Then you have school name. So I'm putting XYZ because I'm just filling up a mock form here. But for you, you have to fill in the exact details of your school name and your school pin code. Let's say roll number. It requires you to fill the roll number which was on your application of your 10th. That is the admit card that you had. So that is the roll number that is required to be filled here. So let's say I'm randomly filling, then result mode, percentage or grade. For CBS, it's usually grade, so I'll write grade here. Maximum grade, it's 10 CGPA, and let's say I have obtained 9.6. And CGPA equivalent, you can convert this online also. It's very easy. Just write CGPA converter into percentage, so you can get through it. So let's say for 96%, it would be around 92%. And so I filled in the 10th details. And for the purpose of like restrictions of time, I've already filled out the 12th. So in case you're finding it any difficult, or if you have any doubts, you can pause the video here and go through it, take a screenshot and see if you're able to do it. So let's skip to the third part here, which it requires you to fill undergraduation details. So qualifying exam, let's say BA honors, result status. So it asks you for appearing or passed. Appearing are for those aspirants who are still enrolled in the course and who have not completed the course. And passed is for who have completed the course and is now looking on to move on to PG. So let's say I have passed, so passed. Passing year 2021, name of university. So for this purpose, you can see you have a list of universities here, and for me it's University of Delhi. So let's write University of Delhi. And again, address, it cannot, so you have to fill in the correct address of your college or institution which you have been enrolled in. And roll number is the uh, again the admit card details that you got while you were enrolled in the university. So I'm randomly entering, and then result mode, again it will ask you percentage or grade. So for most of you it might be grade, so let's click on grade. Again a 10 CGP obtained, let's say 8.7. And again, this again, as I've told you, you can go through the online and just write CGPA to percentage converter, and you will be able to easily get access to it. So let's say for this purpose, let's say 81%. And once you have done it, save. So after submitting the form, you can see it has created a summary of whatever you have filled. And as I've already mentioned, in case if you again go through this, please, it's very important. And if you feel that any of the details you have filled are wrong, you can again edit it, or you can proceed to next section. So here, once you have filled in all the details regarding your education details, now it will ask you for your exam center selection. Or this is a place where you would be appearing for the exam. So as per your convenience, I have three preferences I've been given as per my address location. So I'll be first, my preference will be Delhi, and Delhi and New Delhi. I've selected it. And second, let's say I'm opting for UP, and let's say Noida, Greater Noida, and save. Again, it has generated a summary. And if you are not happy with your preferences, you have an option of updating it, or going for the options again. Or else, if you're happy, proceed to next section. So once you have chosen your examination center preferences, it will ask you for what courses you wish to apply for. So for this particular mock forms, I will be going for Tata Institute of Social Science. So from the list of universities, you can click this, and after coming to, you will get a selection of courses that you can apply for. And let's say I'm applying for Masters of Arts in Natural Resources and Governance. Now, CUT, you can apply for any n number of papers. So let's say I have another preference that I want to opt for. So you just have to click add. So it has created a table of with your list of application or list of papers that you wish to apply for. So as you see that a table has been created. At this point, I'll take a pause and I'll explain to you. Uh, Here in Tata Institute of Social Sciences, under the School of Public Policy and Governance, under the school there are three courses which are being offered. So one is which is already been selected, Masters of Arts in Natural Resources and Governance. And when I click on add, I'll go, and the other course that is being offered under the school is Masters of Arts in Public Policy and Governance. So I'll click that as well. And third is Masters of Arts in Cities and Governance. Now, if you observe very carefully, if you look at the subject code, so since all these three courses come under one school, the subject code of the paper is same. That is COQP11. So for you will be writing one exam for all the three courses. But let's say if I'm choosing some other university, let's say Pondicherry University, let's say, and let's say politics and international relationships, and I'm adding it. See here the code changes. So here it's very required to, as you are going, you need to go through the information bulletin presented by the UET, looking into the subject codes and how many papers you can opt for. And while you have also done this, let's say for this, I'm removing this for the purpose of explanation. While you have filled all these three courses under the banner of School of Public Policy and Governance, please do go through the eligibility criteria here for all the three courses and see if you are eligible for the course. And once you have done this, click here. Again, it creates a summary and proceed to next section. So in this part where the test paper subject selection is to be required, as you go down, you will see that it's asking you to choose subject one test paper. So the answer to this of how to choose the subject one on a long list of a drop down menu, the answer lies here, which is this section, the list of subject required to appear in CUET PG 2024. As you can see under the School of Public Policy and Governance, all the three courses which are offered have the same code. So for this purpose, you would be choosing COQ P11, which is General, LLB, etc. And then you will be choosing the medium of language that you opt for to sit for the exam, English. Now, for people so our options are limited to this, but in case let's say that you're opting for other university or like wish to enroll in different courses, other courses of other university, then you would be filling in this test paper subject to. But for our purpose, since we are not doing so, you have this long list. You will go towards the end and you will click not applicable, which is to be followed in the other two sections as well, which is not applicable and not applicable. And as we have done this, we'll click on the declaration checkbox and please go through the guidelines and save. So again, it has generated a summary for us. and we'll go down. You can again see, go through your details. If you filled in all correctly, you have an option to update, or we'll go to next section. Now here, which is the final part, which is the uploading documents. So it's asking for a photograph and a signature. And as I've already mentioned, the limits for the photograph, it should be within 200 KB, and for signature, it should be within 30 KB. So let's say I'm filling in mine to start upload. For signature purposes, start upload, and again proceed to next section, and see it has now created an entire summary of all the details that have been filled by you. And here also you have the option of updating, or if you feel that you have filled in some mistakes, so you can have the option to correct. And once you have done that, go and check every checkbox which is here. Go down and proceed to payment. So it's here, here the payment section. Just before that, once you have confirmed your email ID, a prompt will be generated, OTP will be generated, which will be sent to your email. So please go and check your emails. For I've already filled in for my purposes my verification code, which has been generated for me. And again, verify. And here we are towards the end, which is payment. So it's asking you to go through all your details once again. You just have to proceed to next sections. And so our application form is complete. So we are again back to the summary. So CUT gives this option of check it again and again, because there might be some mistakes, something that you might have missed about. And before we go on further, please do remember this number, your online application form number, and the password that you have generated with the following. So as we go down, you can see all the summaries and fee details. So fee details is varying, it's dynamic for the courses we have selected. So this is the fee that has been generated, but it might vary according to the courses and the papers that you have selected for to appear in, and then proceed to payment. So candidate's name, reserve, and the payment details are here. So you have two bank details, two bank options as well, which is either you can make the payment through State Bank of India, or you can make the payment through HDFC Bank. So let's say we're clicking on State Bank of India. As you can see, we have been redirected to the SBI page, and you can take a pause here and see that there are multiple options to make payment. So whichever is comfortable to you, you can go ahead with that. Let's say I'm opting for UPI. So just enter in your UPI ID, and or if you are opting for, you can choose for QR code as well, whichever you feel that it's easy for you to access, and make your payment. And once this payment has been done, a token will be generated for the same, which will say that you have successfully made your payment for the application fee, and your application has been successfully registered with the portal. What's one thing to remember is, please do keep note of the application number that has been generated for you for all the future references, because that number is very important, and the password along with the application number that you have generated. So thank you everyone for patiently going through this long form of a long list of details and that we have filled through. So this is end from our side, and we hope that we have been able to help you to fill out an application form without any problems. But in case, definitely if you have any other doubts or concerns regarding your application, please do feel free to contact us through our social media like platforms or portals, and we'll be happy to address all the queries out there. So till then, thank you and all the best for your CUT exam. Thank you.